Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. This is another fanfic reading, which has been given permission to me by the creator. I will link their work in the description and such. It is by Crazy Imagination Girl, and they have been a big supporter of the channel, and they wanted me to read their stuff. I asked if I could read it in a video. They gave permission, so this is what they are. It's based on what we have been working on, and it was inspired by stories that I have done. So I'm really flattered by this, and we're going to go into it right now. Chapter 1, Landing in Hell and Applying at it. 1 second, let me read that. My throat caught up. Landing in Hell and Applying a Job at Ozzy's. Okay, so that's where they messed up. It's apply at a job at Ozzy's because that's just a little weird saying, but nothing too harmful. Fire, that's all she could see. All she saw was fire. All she could feel was the blazing, scorching flames surrounding her. How long has she been okay, that's weird. How long has she been in this prison they called Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzeria? It's been a nightmare with all the trauma she experienced. Murdered by a man named William Afton, who wore a spring Bonnie suit. Possessing a toy foxy animatronic, became the new face of Playtime. Became a children's toy for all the girls and boys. Being ripped apart by children and get fixed by parts and service. Every day, same routine. Ripped apart by children and get fixed by parts and service. Until parts and service got tired of fixing her and made her become take apart and put back together animatronic. They called her the Mangle. She used to be a loving mother, had a child of her own, and loved children, but now hates children. The children were so cruel to her as Mangle. They would constantly rip her apart and put her back together into ridiculous ways. They show no more mercy or sympathy for her. To them, she is just a play toy for them to play with. To her, children were little gremlins. Mood. Just mood. Little gremlins. Thank you. That made my day. She and her animatronic friends attack every night guard they encounter, thinking it's William because he wore a night guard uniforms when he murdered his victims. When being trapped in the pizzeria, Henry had locked all the doors of the pizza and set it ablaze. The fire consumed everything around her. Nothing was left behind. How long has it been? Weeks? Months? Years? Doesn't matter. I'll finally be free. Be able to escape this hellhole they once called Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria, Mangle thought to herself as she was slowly engulfed by the flames. She closed her eyes as she accepted her fate. She doesn't care. It doesn't matter. Sorry, that's a weird way to say the sentence. Where she'll go. She doesn't care where she'll go afterwards, as long as she gets to escape this hellhole pizzeria and far away from William Afton, the man who started all this. Soon everything went black. Mangle's point of view. My left eye snapped open as I found myself in an empty waiting room. Where am I? Am I in heaven or in hell? This is not what I expected from stories I heard about heaven and hell. Well, at least I'm far away from William Afton, and not in that so-called pizzeria. That was my prison. I stood up and see a woman sitting at the desk. I walk up to her, not trying to fall apart when I walk. Take a number and wait your turn, she says, and I blinked in confusion, but did what she said and took a number. I take number 666. Now serving 666, the intercom says. I set down the number and looked at her. Really? I ask. Sorry, my eye twitched a bit, so I couldn't see that. I do not make the rules. I just decide your place. She said, my place? What is this place? Where am I? Why am I here? You are Josephine Clancy, once a mother, but now possesses an animatronic they call Toy Foxy, but is now called Toy Mangle. The Mangle, sorry. Bleh. So I have to see if you're going to heaven or hell on your record. Shouldn't I be dead? The fire engulfed everything, including me. Nothing should be left behind. I saw it with my one and only eye. I asked while specifying the eye I have, which is my left eye. Kids can be so cruel. They tore my right eye out. No, that is where it gets complicated and why you are here. You touch an ancient item and of some sorts, and it sent you to the great beyond. Most people who do that either are a very good person or a very bad person. You are neither. You are just are who you are. So you are going to be held in spiritual limbo until the big man tells me what to do until I deem you to hell. Okay, so what do you think? Well, according to my records, you have murdered tons of security guards and staff members by biting their heads off. You even ripped them apart and put them back together so they could experience what is it like to be a mangled mess or becoming beautiful just like you. I'm afraid I have no choice but to send you to hell. But so I can give you a green greed card. This allows you to go to other rings in hell as long as you come to the pride ring during extermination time. She said, handing me the greed card. Greed card. I took it, which I gladly took. I was so confused. What's going on here? I think I read way too many books about heaven and hell back when I was a human. I don't care as long as I'm far away from the man named William Afton. At least I'll be free from my prison he imprisoned me in, I replied. She pulled a lever and the floors fall out from under me. I was not expecting that. I screamed and began to fall. What the hell is actually going on? It does not take me long to see that I land. I see myself in a red sky city. I look around the place. I saw I was still holding the greed card in my hand. Is this for real, or am I just imagining things? I got up and started walking. I read and saw a sign that read, Welcome to Hell. Wait, this is hell? I pictured it to be a flame like in those books I read. Not a whole city shades of red. Not a whole city in shades of red. Yep, I read way too many books about heaven and hell when I was still a human. Well, this is what I imagined. This isn't what I imagined hell to look like. But at least I'm free from that pizzeria prison and far away from William Afton. I doubt he can reach me when I'm in hell, I thought to myself. As I walk around the city, I could see eyes staring at me and could hear whispers from demons around me. I could understand why. I was different from the rest of them. I was an animatronic, a broken, mangled animatronic to be exact. Well, the rest were different various animals, succubus and imps. They whisper about my body, my figure, everything. Ever so often, my body part will fall off. A body part would fall off of me. I could hear laughter and whispers from behind me, saying how I look like some sort of circus freak, defective, a scary monster freak. I tried to ignore those comments as I walked past. I used to consider myself a freak back then. Back then, when the remaking Foxy, aka me, employees and parents thought I was too scary, so they redesigned me to be more kid friendly and put me in Kids Cove to keep the toddlers entertained, but kids these days just can't keep their hands to themselves. Parts and service had to literally put me back together after every shift. Now I'm just a mess of parts. Parts and service referred to me as just the Mangle. I even referred to myself as the Mangle. When passing by a succubus, I could whisper to her friends, and while giggling, they are just jealous of how pretty I am. Ugly! I heard her shout, making me stop in my tracks and turn around to look at her. She pointed at me and kept chanting, Ugly! At me while laughing. Her friends joined in, and some of the demons began to circle around me and chant ugly at me, laughing and pointing at me. They're hearing the word ugly. Something in me snapped. She didn't just call me ugly right now. No one calls me ugly. She's gonna pay. Not they're all going to pay. Their face they their f- the they will face the consequences. I couldn't control myself as I marched over to her without warning. I lunged myself at her and took a huge bite of flesh out of her. The succubus screamed in pain and she tried to pull away from my vice-like bite. I didn't budge as I kept biting hard. No matter how hard, she pulls. I soon pulled away with a piece of that beesh flesh in my mouth. I spit it to the ground, my teeth covered in black blood. The flesh landed in the middle, and everyone screamed in horror as they saw the flesh. "What's your problem, freak?" she shouted. "It'll be all over soon, so very soon," I said as I approached even closer, making them take a step back. "Now I get to play take apart and put back together. You won't feel a thing," I told them, making them confused. "What do you mean?" she asked, trying not to show fear, but I could smell the fear in her. Without explanation, I tackled her and began to tear her body parts and put them back together by sewing her back on. Her screams were music to my ears. Now she'll know what it's like to be torn apart. Ugh. Now she'll know what it's like when kids tear you apart every day. I then grabbed the close demons nearby and apart their bodies and add them to her. I know they said I couldn't be put together, but they were wrong. They are. But they see how wrong they are, I said as I showed her a mirror. "You are a mangled mess. You are a mangled mess. Now you know what it's like to be me, a mess of parts," I said. She screams when she saw herself. She didn't last long until she dropped dead on the ground. The demons stared as I just turned a succubus into a mess of parts and quickly ran away, not being next. I spotted a restaurant nearby and decided to clean myself off. I saw the fear in their eyes when entering the restaurant. I guess they witnessed how I turned a succubus into a mangled mess. After cleaning up myself and exiting the restaurant, a flyer hit me in the face. What the? I took the flyer off my face and read it. "Looking for new performers for Aussies. Sweet, a job that doesn't involve me handling kids. I need money anyways. I hope it's not another pizzeria." After getting directions from a nearby demon, I took a train and headed over to the Lust Ring. Luckily, my greed card allowed me to travel to other rings in hell. Anyways, I'm going to have to break this up into two separate parts because it was long and I only convert 20-minute long audios. Of course, this is going to be under 20 minutes and such, but I have to cut it off now. Otherwise, I will lose it and I'll have to start over from scratch. And I don't want to do that. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed. If you would like to see part 2, I probably already have it recorded, so it will be coming anyway at some points and all that stuff. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed. Yes, this was by Crazy Imagination Girl. I will link her in the video, in description and the pinned comment, so check her out, read the comic. The grammar is a bit off and some of the words are a bit ill formatted, but really good for her first writing anything, and English might not be her first language, so don't give her too much shit about it. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed, and yeah, this is obviously, you can see in the title, that at least Fizzarolli is Yandere, and Asmodeus might be also Yandere. I am not 100% sure, but yeah, this was on DeviantArt, and they gave me permission to use it. I hope that you all enjoyed. Thank you, Gavin, for being my first patron. You are fabulous, Gavin. Thank you, and thank you, Wicked Brony, for being my second patron. You are just as fabulous. And thank you, Crazy Imagination Girl, for letting me use this. I appreciate very much, and it was really good. It made me laugh. I got really excited for doing it, and I can't wait to see more of this. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed, and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye-bye. And here's the secret outro time. Secret outro time. The secret outro is question of the day. Would you want to be in Mangle's position for this? I want it because, personally, I wouldn't want to fall apart and have the trauma that she has from William Afton and those horrid kids, because kids are traumatic enough. But I would also love to be with Asmodeus and Fizzarolli, just bottom line, because they're both my favorites. Yes. Favorite threesome wins in Helluva Boss. Yes. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed, and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye-bye!